Thanks for watching this short video on the overview metrics available in Google Analytics for the Oregon.gov website. The goal of these videos is to give a basic idea of what's available and how to manipulate the application to obtain some slightly deeper metrics. If you have questions regarding how Google calculates its analytics and for information about metrics that are not covered in these videos, please use Google's support site at support.google.com/analytics. There is much good information there and some of the reasoning behind the metrics. Log into your Google account using your state-issued or professional email address. If you cannot log in with that address, please see the instructions for obtaining Google Analytics access. Once logged in and at the Analytics site, you'll see the Google Analytics logo in the upper left, your login email address in the upper right, along with the name of the view you are currently looking at. Lower on the page is a list of views you have access to. In most cases, this will be the Oregon.gov unfiltered view and the Oregon.gov forced lowercase view. Google counts different letter cases in the URL an end user used to get to your site as a separate result. The forced lowercase view simply combines all attempts to reach a page into one line item. For most purposes, this makes for a much clearer set of metrics for us to determine the relevance and popularity of a given page, document, or resource. Clicking on the upper right section over your user and view information opens a window allowing you to access your Google profile and is another avenue to other views you have access to. We'll use the forced lowercase view for this presentation. To view the basic set of metrics for Oregon.gov, you'll click on Oregon.gov forced lowercase. This will open the overview page for the view. The overview shows various metrics and trends at a glance. By default, the overview graph shows how many sessions per day have been started on Oregon.gov over the last 30 days. Below the graph are several other basic metrics, all based on the last 30 days. Sessions. A session is counted when a visitor enters an Oregon.gov site and lasts until they click out of the site or after 30 minutes of inactivity by the visitor. The session does not take page views into account. Users. This is how many different people, loosely speaking, have visited the site. If Google cannot link the same user between devices, then a visit from each device would count as a separate user. Google uses at least two methods to track users, so counts may not be consistent between features of the application. Page views are counted each time a page is loaded in a visitor's browser. Multiple views of the same page in a session are counted individually. Pages per session. This is how many pages on average visitors opened during a session on Oregon.gov. Average session duration is the average length of time a visitor remained on the site. Again, this is regardless of the number of pages visited. Bounce rate. Bounces are visits ending with the first page arrived at. A visitor arrives at a page, does not click any links, and either closes the browser tab or uses the back button to leave the page. Bounce rates are not necessarily a bad thing, but there is no good way in Google Analytics to determine if the user simply found what they needed on the first page, or backed out because it was not helpful, or if they arrived on the page by mistake. Percentage of new sessions. A new session is an arrival on the site that did not occur within 30 minutes of the latest visitor activity on the site. For example, a user visits the site and is interrupted. The interruption lasts for 27 minutes, and they come back and begin clicking around again. That's one session, since 30 minutes of inactivity had not accrued. If the same user was interrupted for 31 minutes, when they returned and began clicking around again, it would be a new session. Google Analytics offers a pie chart to show the approximate ratio of new visitors to repeat visitors. Scrolling down the page a bit, we see a few more basic metrics. Demographics lets you know what languages the site was viewed in, and geographically, where the visits are coming from. No surprise that the vast majority of visits to all Oregon.gov sites are from within Oregon. System metrics give you an idea of the technologies being used to access Oregon.gov sites. Mobile gives you an idea of how mobile users are accessing the site. By the way, our mobile audience is growing every month, and we need to think mobile-friendly when we are designing our sites. As you can see, this is just the overview page, and looking at the left-hand navigation options, there is an extensive amount of information available. Each basic report like this can be further refined using segments and filters. Be sure to watch more analytics videos for more on how to obtain useful information from Google Analytics.